Hi everybody, it's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter. Just checking in, quick little video about what's been happening today. So the big project this weekend is this quilt that I am working on. And why this is a big project beyond the fact that it's a big quilt, and please don't mind the background behind me. This is in my sewing room, but I share the sewing room as the exercise room and our workshop. So there's a lot of garbage all the way around. Maybe I'll just turn it a little bit more this way so you don't have to look. It doesn't matter what way I turn it, it's still all garbage. I'm just going to move my microphone down a little bit. Okay, here we are, we're set. So this quilt, I started off by, I thought, well, I'd be smart and I would quilt it. Let me turn that light off, that might be a little better. Trying to keep the glare off, but you can see here, or maybe you can't see. Well, that's because it's not the right one. Let's get this right. Here, see all these lines? That's quilted. And that's what I was going to do on every one of these squares on here. But I changed my mind after I did the first row. I decided it was better if I just did a walking foot quilt in parallel lines. The reason being is, this I was not being too even about because I was trying to do this freehand, and then I decided to start drawing it out onto the other squares, and it was just getting into a tangled mess. Of course, I didn't make this decision until I got finished one whole column, 6 squares in this format. I like this way better. So I am picking them all out, and I have picked out using my handy dandy seam ripper all of those quilted lines you just saw out of 3 of the squares out of 6. How long did that take? Well, I'm getting a little faster, but the first complete square to get all of that quilting out took me over 2 hours. I'm down now to about an hour and a half with it. I watched some videos about how to pick out quilted pieces, and there really isn't any really fast way to do it. I was worried that it would leave holes where the needle had gone through for all that, and it did, but I have found if I steam it a little bit, they seem to close up, and after it has been sitting overnight, they seem to close up. So anyways, I'm going to pick out the rest of all of these and then quilt it. And then I'll be able to put the binding on it, and from there, I'm going to do something I haven't done with any of the quilts I've made to date. I'm actually going to wash this and see what happens. Keep my fingers crossed. These materials, as far as I know, they're meant for quilting. I think they're color fast. We'll see what happens when I do that. This could be a complete disaster that I have spent hours on. But I do want to try to wash one of the quilts to see what's going to happen. And this one is the best candidate for that right now. So that's what I've been working on and continuing to work on. I went to Ultimate Sewing this morning because it's their spring open house, and this is when they reveal all the new classes that they're going to have, and there's a lot of classes I want to take. Thing is, they don't tell you until Friday night what those classes are, and then you have to go into the store and sign up for them because they have limited space in their classroom. So I had mentioned back a few weeks ago, do people line up for this? And they said yes, they do. So I went down there. The store doesn't open until 10 o'clock in the morning. I went down there this morning, 9 o'clock, parked right in front of the doors, got a parking spot there, no problem, brought my coffee, brought my books on my phone, and sat sort of propped up on the hood of my car, waiting. So I was first in line. Now at about 9:30, one of the employees arrived, and she was laughing, of course. I told her, I'm determined. I'm going to be the first. So anyways, another lady and her daughter showed up, and we had a nice conversation. And she was reminded that she was second in line. I was first. And then by about 9:45, 15 minutes before the store opened, a whole bunch of other ladies came and started to line up. Now, being the only guy there, I turned around and said to the ladies, okay, ladies, I was here first. I will draw blood. And I also said to them, okay, usually the adage, ladies first, not in this case. I'm going to be first. Now, I also did some prep work. I got the newsletter that showed all the new classes last night. I prepared little tickets that have all the information about the class, the date, the time, my name, and phone number. That's all the information they fill out in the store for this. The only thing I didn't have was the actual class number. So first thing I walked in the store, I went right up to one of the store employees who was looking after signing up people for classes and handed her all my tickets. Threw her off a little bit because she wasn't expecting that. I said to her, all you have to do is you can just stick these right to your master sheet, or the sheet that you fill out when you're in the store, and it's fast. She was a little flustered with that idea at first, and I said, but I brought a stapler so we can staple it. I came prepared, I told you. And actually, she just taped them all down and then wrote in the number of the course for each. So I was first in line. I got the 4 classes I wanted to sign up for, all paid for, all ready to go. Of course, they were all laughing in the store because they know that I'm a retired school teacher, and they said, well, that's the school teacher in you, isn't it? And I said, that's right. So what did I sign up for? Well, I didn't sign up for any quilting classes this time. I'm focusing on using the equipment. So I have a course about using your sewing machine out of the box, they call it, or something like that. No, machine basics or whatever, because I have this elaborate machine. I have sort of read the documentation that came with it. I mean, I'm a man after all. We don't read instructions, okay? But I thought maybe I should. I'm probably missing out on a few features of my machine that maybe they can show me that would be good. I also took a basic serger course because I've got my serger all cleaned up. I brought it into the store a couple of weeks ago. They had it all cleaned up, put new blades on it, checked the timing, did everything to it. It's ready to go because I really want to learn to do more than just a rolled hem on my serger to make napkins. So I did that. They actually had 2 courses with the serger. They have this basic one, and then they have one that's a little bit more advanced, and you actually make some stuff with it. But I don't really need a new skirt or scarf. So obviously this was a class that was, you know, had females in mind for that. So anyways, although maybe if I learned how to make a skirt, who knows, might get into a whole new field. So those 2 classes. I'm taking something called BQ Boot Camp. This is Basic Quilters Boot Camp, where you learn the basics of quilting along with the various, you know, traditional block types and things like that. And I thought that might be a good class to take because I sort of leapt ahead in my whole quilting experience here. But now it may be time to backtrack a little bit and learn some of the finer points and things that, you know, basically a quilter should know. And the 4th class that I'm taking is, what is the 4th class? Let's see. Machine, the serger, boot camp. Oh, yes, and of course, free motion quilting class. And there's two sections to that class, over 2 days or 2 time periods. One is using the walking foot, and the other, of course, is the whole free motion thing, which I'm really interested in and really want to learn how to do and do properly. And you know from previous Idiot Quilter programs that my free quilting is not anywhere near the best, not even close. So I'm hoping this will get me onto the road to perfecting that. So anyways, that's what I'm doing. And yeah, I'm still loving it all the way. So, and I've got another quilt. I won't show it to you today, but I've got another quilt top that I've been working on that's sort of my own design. And it's using some of my own fabric, the fabric that I've been designing. I still haven't heard back from Northcott yet about my designs. I don't know if I ever will. It's only been just a week. I think I sent them in like last Saturday, last weekend. So, okay, it takes time for these things. As I said before, I would be really happy if they did accept those or wanted to work with me on that kind of thing. But the reality of my life usually is that other people have better ideas than I do and are more marketable than I am. So that's just the way it goes. No big deal, really. If you don't try these things, you don't know. Okay, so that's all I want to talk to you today about, and we'll see you for the next Idiot Quilter at some time in the near future. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.